Alright, everything seems to work fine in theory. Just gonna give it a hot minute. We should be good. In theory. I think we're in the clear. Hi there, Sharon! Oh, sorry to hear that. Anyways, welcome to the last day of Week of the Macabre and last installment of Homicide. If this is your first time here on the channel, my name is Hats. I am a Dragon Girl VTuber with a bit of a foul mouth. And, well, I'm bringing home a Mr. Crowlin. I'm bringing this guy home. That is our goal. That is my end goal. I'm bringing this man home. So without too much waffling about, yes, load this file to Chapter 5. Oh, yeah, oh good gods. I am so sorry, Shar. Mr. Crawling! Oh, Mr. Trapped, have you seen him? You come! I wait you! What hair resident is there? Oh, the hairdresser. And find. Want to go. Want you to carry me. Hold, Gary. Somewhere you want to go? Let's check it out. Alright, yep, pick him up. So, where do you want to go? Go path. You walk, you carry me. You carry? Shake little. Why is there such thing as being carried comfortably? Is this the right way? Wall small, door. Ah, there's a door-like thing. It's quite difficult to go in there single-handed. Yeah, no, because unless you are wearing, like, unless you somehow made the crown, the top of his head somehow look like a KKK hood, I doubt that. Yeah. The man resembles a fork. Not a KKK member. Oh, hi, Mr. Gap. Hello? I knew he'd appear. Fun! Look at! What is it? This paper. Special article about paranormal photography? This! He showed up in someone's photo! He photobombed somebody! Ah, it's you, Mr. Gap. Me! Fun? Goodbye. Oh, he just wanted to show off that he photobombed someone. Just wanted to brag about it? Cool. Where is Mr. Crawling? Hey. Small resident. Make big. Stay hostile. Doesn't look friendly. Is it trying to threaten me? They leave. Weird little eyeball thing. You stop. Not open door. Knock door. Is not there? What? I want you to cut hair. Will do. Enter your room. Anyways, where is Mr. Crawling? Oh, hi, hairdresser. What is this place? Some kind of hair salon? They walk, cut hair. They friendly. Hi there. Hello. Hi again. I didn't realize I'd see you again. Hi. Cut their hair. Put the head down on table. Is she telling me just to put him down over there? There you go, little guy. Cut hair little. Will do. I just want to trim. It just takes off like 3 inches. Oh, no, wait. Mine just did a little trim. Pretty? Pretty. I can't tell if there's any difference at all. Momando? Cut you. Cut you. Cut you. Sit, seat. I think she's telling me to sit down if I want to get a haircut. Might as well get my haircut now that I'm already here. These guys aren't all so bad. I just gotta avoid the ones I know are absolutely malicious. Where cut? Head? Hair? Cut my hair. It'll do. Cut your hair. Your hair pretty. My hair looks a lot better. Oh, my hair's turning gray? Oh well. Free dye job. Thank you. Goodbye. Oh, ad break. So we're gonna make ourselves comfy till ad break done. We're just gonna hang out here, hold on to Mr. Chapped for a hot minute. While the 2.5 minute ad break goes. Let's see, is there a ghostie on the bed? There is a ghostie on the bed, and he has made himself comfy on my pillow. He's been stealing that thing for me lately. Now, I think, possibly, Hira approves of me bringing Mr. Crawlin home. Or at least he is okay with it. So there will not have to be an awkward explanation to the future husband as to why I have brought a whole-ass man home from a spooky place. How much time is left? Less than a minute. Let's see here. Does Stardust Cookie still show up? Yes, he does. He's been with Stardust Cookie here has been, as my mouse cursor has been following me through this whole fucking journey. Probably should save. Good idea to save frequently. Yeah. Hope everyone's been having a happy Halloween. I'm not able to do as much as I was hoping to do today, because I hurt myself trying to get the house guest ready. But I'm making sure that I at least finish up this stream. Finish up this event, finish up this game. Bring home a Mr. Crawlin. And ad break done. Thank you, hairdresser. You have a lovely day. Hair pretty, relieved. Though I can't tell any difference. Hair is looking a lot better, but my clothes are dirty, now they don't match. Clothes. Maybe if I called, she'd appear? Clothes? There she is! Clothes? She can appear from anywhere. You say clothes? Have these two never seen each other? Where your head? Where your body? What's wrong? The head is not here. Afraid. Their body's not here. I'm afraid. Are you too scared of each other? She's gone. So, replacement clothes not happening. Mr. Crawling. Someone come? Mr. Crawling? Someone heading this way? First things first, let's go and hide over there. Okay, nope, never mind, not him. We're getting the fuck out. Let's hide in the corner. Oh! Look, it's a human! Holy shit, it's a dude! Sorry? Hi? He's human, right? He feels like one, alright? Hello? Hi? Is the young guard cousin me? Smile first. Smile! Looks like that smile worked the opposite! Ah, shit! Not another language barrier. Speaking a completely different language. Hello? You can speak the other world's language? Understand language? Understand. Are they looking for the exit as well? Look for exit way in and out? Look for exit way in and out. Not now, desktop notification. I knew it. Fortunately, I'm still looking for the exit as well. Told them just look for the elevator. Or the elevator doesn't exist in the other world's language. We're trying something. I don't know what the hell going on! Thanks. Goodbye. Bye. Guess not gonna try to stick with me, huh? Okay. I can find it or not. You go? Let's get back into the room. Can't go get ready to leave without Mr. Crawling. There he is! You! Where you go? I was at the hair salon, I come cut hair. Understand. Does he like it? Your hair change. Oh, my hair's messy. Let's take a quick break. Where did we set Mr. Chop down? Well, I'm based in this area for now. No one knows when's the next earthquake. Big trouble if I'm not with everybody else. You, huh? Good gods! Don't do that! Bad Mr. Gap. Scared me, Mr. Gap. Hello. What, did you realize you photobombed someone else's photo again? Fun paper to look at. Want your finger. Not give. No finger. Disappointing. How can you just say those things out loud as if it's nothing? then what should I do? Let me take a quick break. Hey, Yoshi! You awake? Well, then what should I do? Well, nothing happened, so let's go. There might still be some paths I haven't found yet. Let's explore around here. Where did we put Mr. Chopped? Did we, like, drop him off at Silver's before coming over here? Huh? Then this place key in the entrance has to exit. You! Uh-oh. Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's another human's jacket. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, they're back from trick-or-treating. Huh, that jacket? Okay. That... This? Find this! I take! Fight? Yeah, this is just play, right? It didn't save. I swear I corrected that. Invite play with. Not play. Disappointing. Hey! Hold on a minute! Take you! No! No! No, 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 no. Hey, 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 hey! You dropped me! Okay. Where hide way in and out? I realized I was already taken captive. Is he just playing around with us, or should I just kill him? You! You! Oh, he is not happy. They file up though. Hide, rest down. Hey, hey, hey! I am not in the mood to be a hostage. Kind of kid, I don't know what the hell you want with me. Mr. Crawling? He was not there. Let me out! I am here! Not part of the plan! Not part of the plan for the day! Come back! They go? Let go! They leave? Invite go. No, rather not, rather not! Where go? Where's my crowbar? They follow us? Huh? So he's Mr. Walking now. You know. They come! Mr. Crawling! They stand! They angry! Mr. Crawling, just stand up! Wait, could it be he's trying to threaten them? Making himself look bigger so he can intimidate them? You drop me now? Headcloth behind. I don't want this. Hey, not come. Surprise. They worried. Hun! He was not there. They worried. They like you? They like me. Understand. They like you. You die? They worried? Mr. Crawling, where is my fucking crowbar? Who let me out the house without the crowbar? Who let me leave the house without it? They sad? They angry? I think he's royally pissed. Mr. Crawling? You hurt? Is here? I protect. Are you worried? Sorry, but thanks. I carry you. No, not anymore. Turns out when you kidnap somebody, there are consequences. Those consequences are turning out that Mr. Crawling is actually Mr. Walking. And, those hands are rated E for anybody who decides to pick me up. Nice surprise. You should avoid. I promise I'll be more careful next time. Oh, I'm getting head pats. It's okay. It's okay. Return? Damn, you didn't want him, I would have taken him. Well, you see, he decided to kidnap my ass. And he didn't think there wouldn't be any consequences for that. You're looking at the consequences. You no leave. I with you. What? Hey, that wasn't what I was trying to grab. God's damn. Well, okay, so that ending confirms he's capable of walking. Wait, does he not stand and walk at his full height because he doesn't want to scare us? That's actually kind of fucking adorable. I'm not giving you my finger, Mr. Gap. I'm trying to figure out how to bring this man home. You cannot have my finger. I do not want to exchange my finger for a book. Shoot. We can try to go again, but this time let's... Can we make that encounter with Mr. Stitch go some other way? Because I'm trying to... I know there is an ending where we take Mr. Crawling with us. Back to the regular world. I'm just trying to get to it. I'm hoping to get to that before I have to end this for the night. Even though I have broken my one ending policy. So just trying to get back to where... Okay, there is... not really any other way for that to go. What happens if I just choose to keep sleeping? Can I talk to Mr. Crawling some more? Am I stuck in some kind of loop? You awake? I'm trying to see if I can get... I'm slowly getting used to this. Okay, there we go. We're starting to get something to happen. Slowly getting used to this world. It's surprisingly cozy to live here. Let's go learn more about this world. Oh, come on! I want to go to an ending. No, this is credits! I don't want to look up a guide, come on, but I also... Ow. I have broken my one ending policy enough. Alright, I'm gonna leave you guys with a homicide menu real quick. Where the hell did I put it? I honestly should have installed this thing, but I thought once again that Chapter 5 would take longer. But I'm not leaving y'all with an extra short stream. This thing better fucking run. I don't know how to get the ending to pop up to where Mr. Crawling comes back with us. And I don't know how interesting my stumbling is gonna be for y'all to watch, so we switch into something else real quick. So just gonna try to switch to another game. But yeah, definitely love Homicipher. Definitely a lot of fun. I do wish there was more to the game, but I also understand the dev is currently not doing anything more with it anymore, mainly because of the amount of people that just kept going after them. Which sucks, but understandable why they decided to pack their shit and leave. Since I am once again on my Lovecraftian horror and cosmic horror kick. Motherfucker, you best work. Who wants to go through a visual novel form of the story Dagon? You don't? Too bad. You coming with me. I just hope it loads.
Left or right, brother? Oh, right.
Oh. And we got... Should be good now. But anyways, yes, the god Dagon. Dagon is a faithful and errated adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's work focused on story and atmosphere. You will not not find difficult choices, action sequences, or inventory management here, and movement is limited to progressing through through locations along with the plot.
I am writing this under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more.
Spooky. You will encounter interactive elements. Some of them will allow you to continue your journey, others reveal interesting facts about the original short story, its historical background, and the author. Some of the trivia is hidden. In order to find these secrets, focus your eyes and look for the elder sign. Well, there are no secrets on the ceiling or on the wall. Let's go.
Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below. Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate. When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
Fun fact about morphine. Morphine entered into the use in the 19th century and was routinely administered to treat severe pain during the American Civil War and World War I. It was also sold without restrictions until 1914. Morphine became more popular after the invention of the hypodermic syringe around 1854. Frederick Turner, her first isolated substance, originally named it morphium after Morpheus, the Greek god associated with deep dreams. At the time when Dagon was published, morphine abuse, known as soldier's disease, already posed a big problem in the United States. Ta-da! We're not only going through a Lovecraft's short story, we're also getting trivia. We gonna learn. We learning today. I tricked you guys into getting an education.
It was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German sea raider. The Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation. So that our vessel was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
Huns were Central Asian nomads who established dominion in Europe and invaded the Roman Empire in the 5th century AD. Those brutal, deadly warriors amassed quick raids who... Hello, Tech Greece, how you doing? Quick raids who also developed powerful composite lassos and early siege weapons. During World War I, the British used the word Hun as a synonym for Germans, in order to emphasize their brutality. However, the term originated when the German Emperor Wilhelm II gave a speech to his troops on 27th July in 1900 before they embarked to China. Slightly tired. Understandable. It's Halloween. Everybody going out doing stuff. But yeah. That's right. We're not just reading a short story and tricking y'all into getting an education. Tricking y'all into learning shit.
So liberal, indeed, was the discipline of our captors, that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time.
It's the one to move forward.
When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings.
Well, no shit, you got on a random lifeboat in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator. Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight.
Why are they setting the puppy off out there? What's got the puppy going?
The weather kept fair, and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land.
Dagon was written in July 1917 and first published in 1919 in The Vagrant, an amateur magazine focused on supernatural. Story is the first of his stories that introduced an element from the Cthulhu mythos, Dagon itself. Pagan cult-worshipping Dagon later appears in The Shadow over Innsmouth, one of Lovecraft's most popular works. 1917 is also the year when he wrote The Tomb, a story about Jervis Dudley, a daydreamer who discovered a mysterious mausoleum in the woods by his house and became obsessed with it. These two works marked Lovecraft's return to short story writing after he burned most of his attempts at the genre 9 years prior and decided to concentrate on poetry. Lovecraft stated that it was his friend William Paul Cook, a literary publisher and critic, who convinced him to start writing weird fiction again. No, not the door! No door! No door, Scrappy! Be a good boy, no door. Ah, he's grabbing my hand!
But neither ship nor land appeared, and I began to despair in my solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue.
Well, you know what's not helping? Staring directly at the sun.
The change happened whilst I slept.
Hey, not the door! I don't care if it warms your eyes, it ain't good for your eyes.
Its details I shall never know. For my slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous.
Ah yes, every exact reason why I hate the fucking ocean. Hi, how you doing?
When at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see, and in which my boat lay grounded some distance away. Though one might well imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished. For there was in the air, and in the rotting soil, a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core.
Yeah, things that are supposed to be in the deep ocean tend to do that.
The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish, and of other, less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud of the unending plain. Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity. There was nothing within hearing, and nothing in sight, save a vast reach of black slime. Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear. The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
forward, I'm just looking for any extra bits that might be hiding. They give me the ability to look for extras. I'm looking for extras while still trying to keep a good pace going. Poor little Ammonite. I'm sorry, little guy, and weird thing squiggling there. You're on your own. Oh, gross.
As I crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position. Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths.
Put them back. Put them back in the watery depths. They should not be here.
So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might. Nor were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things.
That's a fucking trilobite. Trilobite? Oh, elder sign. Volcanic eruption sometimes results in the creation of islands. Most of them are transient and erode after some time, but some prove permanent. Floating pumice, porous rock created when superheated pressured rock is ejected from a volcano, can move across long distances to transport barnacles and macroalgae that cling to it. 2001, rafts of pumice created during the eruption of a volcano near Tonga, Polynesia, eventually reached Australia. Neat. See? Y'all learning. I don't know what that giant... That ain't macroalgae. Hi, halibut.
For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens. As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time. That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue.
Hello, Mr. Halibut. You should not be up here. Yeah, understandable there, Fox. Understandable.
On the third morning, I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease.
That one that's just right there. Why do I find that one so amusing?
The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal.
Let's way to go forward. I'm just checking other things. Checking for any more possible trivia. And there seems to be none. Let's go.
All day I forged steadily westward, guided by a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on the rolling desert.
You are some freaky bastards. Oh, no, poor thing. Of all the places for you to die, it had to be with these. I'm so sorry, my dude. No elder sign popping up, so we keep moving.
That night, I encamped, and on the following day still traveled toward the hummock. though that object seemed scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it.
The creator of the Cthulhu mythos, the fictional underwater city of Ryla, was convinced that life could not exist at the bottom of the ocean because the water pressure would make it uninhabitable. Today we know that the darkest depths of the ocean are home to many peculiar organisms. The deepest dwelling fish we have discovered so far, the Mariana snailfish, can live about 8,000 meters, more than 26,000 feet, below the ocean's surface. In never-ending darkness and at hellishly crushing pressures hundreds of times stronger than those found at sea level. Upon glancing at the modern photos of deep-sea creatures, such as the anglerfish, the fangtooth, or the viperfish, and their truly Lovecraftian characteristics, it's hard not to find some irony in this. Look! There is a lot that I would absolutely punch Howard Philip Lovecraft in the face for and beat the shit out of him for. But I can at least agree with him on the ocean being a terrifying goddamn place.
By the fourth evening, I attained the base of the mound, which turned out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance. An intervening valley setting it out in sharper relief from the general surface.
The world looks tasty? I wouldn't recommend eating any of it. You don't know where it's been.
Too weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill. I know not why my dreams were so wild that night, but ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain, I was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more. Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again, and in the glow of the moon I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day. Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy.
Yeah, but can you see?
Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset. Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence.
Oh, another elder sign. Contrary to popular opinion, Lovecraft was not an ever-frowning, eccentric, grumpy loner. He considered himself to be a person who appreciated humor. Moreover, he would often meet with friends in his apartment or at various cafes in Brooklyn and Manhattan. At times, his social life was so intensive, his work would suffer for months. There was a point when he finally decided he needed to put an end to daily meetings, loitering in New York cafeterias, and resort to hiding at home and reading with the main room light turned off, pretending he wasn't there whenever a friend knocked on his door. He also had another method of deterring his guests, which involved greeting them in a bathrobe, with an unmade bed visible in the background and piles of paper scattered across the floor. God's damn, man. Just pretend to be sick before you open the door.
I have said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me. But I think my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon, whose black recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine. I felt myself on the edge of the world, peering over the rim into a fathomless chaos of eternal night. Through my terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost and of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness. As the moon climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined.
Just looking for other possible elder signs. Don't really seem to be any popping up, so let's go.
Ledges and outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent, whilst after a drop of only a few hundred feet, the declivity became very gradual.
Let's move forward. Just checking for elder signs again.
Urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze, I scrambled with difficulty down the rocks and stood on the gentler slope beneath, gazing into the Stygian deeps, where no light had yet penetrated. All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me.
Ah, the cube.
An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
Hi, Ruby! Just look for more elder signs. So I can continue to trick you guys into getting an education. Nope.
That it was merely a gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself.
Buddy, nature doesn't make rectangles that smooth.
But I was conscious of a distinct impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature. A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express.
I will poke the rock in a moment. I'm just trying to keep an eye out for more possible trivia stuff. I will continue to trick you people into learning stuff.
For despite its enormous magnitude, and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young, I perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith, whose massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures. Dazed and frightened, yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
Moves forward. Okay, no elder sign, so continue.
The moon, now near the zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm, and revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope. Across the chasm, the wavelets washed the base of the Cyclopean monolith, on whose surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude sculptures.
Yeah, I will stare at the monolith in a moment. I must continue to look for possible trivia.
The writing was in a system of hieroglyphics unknown to me and unlike anything I'd ever seen in books, consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like. Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world, but whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain. It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound.
It contains many themes and storytelling methods that Lovecraft developed in his later works, such as telling the story through carvings at the Mountains of Madness, the Nameless City, journals and characters' notes, the Shadow out of Time, the Haunter in the Dark, islands emerging from the ocean, the Call of Cthulhu, or fictional beings and deities based on real events and mythologies, Migo and the Whispers of Darkness. It's also considered the origin of the popular Cthulhu mythos. Some of Lovecraft's other stories also conclude in a manner similar to Dagon, but let's get the details or not spoil the ending.
Plainly visible across the intervening water, on account of their enormous size, were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a Doré. I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain sort of men.
Yes, we do. Y'all gonna learn tonight.
though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto, or paying homage at some monolithic shrine which appeared to be under the waves as well. Of their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail.
Well, there ain't much.
For the mere remembrance makes me grow faint, grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer. They were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips, glassy, bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall. Curiously enough, they seemed to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background, for one of the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale, represented as but little larger than himself.
I don't think it's out of proportion.
I remarked, as I say, their grotesqueness and strange size, but in a moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe. Some tribe whose last descendant had perished eras before the first ancestor of the Piltdown or Neanderthal man was born.
No extra trivia? No extra trivia.
Awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist, I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me.
Oh shit, you mean we found the water that turns the friggin' frogs gay? Finally! About time we found this.
Then, suddenly, I saw it. With only a slight churning to mark its rise to the surface, the thing slid into view above the dark waters. Polyphemus-like and loathsome, it darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the monolith, about which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, the while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds.
Ah shit, ad
I
break.
think I went mad then.
I know it's gonna screw up with pacing, but we're gonna wait out the ad break. On one hand, we found a giant fish man. On the other hand, we found the water that turns the friggin' frogs gay. I say that's a win. Remember, folks, we chase Alex Jones off a Tumblr by constantly spamming him with the words "Kung Pao penis." And I am forever proud of that. How long's this ad gonna last? I got like less than a minute. Less than 30 seconds now. Come on. this should be done now. Woo!
Of my frantic ascent of the sloping cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little.
I mean, honestly, smart. You saw a giant fish thing pop out of the water. You know what? Smart move to get the fuck out.
I believe I sang a great deal and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
Yeah, I know we need to run for our lives, but I also must look for trivia. I must look for signs of things to learn.
I have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat. At any rate, I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest moods. When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital. Brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean. In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention. Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing. Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
Oh. Lovecraft considered himself an atheist and absolute materialist, which he attributed partly to his early childhood interest in astronomy and science in general, in his own words. Even though the man was also described as not having the constitution from math. I am indeed an absolute materialist so far as actual belief goes, without a shred of credence in any forms of supernaturalism, religion, spiritualism, transcendentalism, metempsychosis, or immortality. All I say is that I think it's damned unlikely that anything like a central cosmic will, a spirit world, or an eternal survival personality exist. They are the most preposterous and unjustified of all guesses which can be made about the universe, and I am not enough of a hair splitter to pretend that I don't regard them as errant and negligible moonshine. In theory, I am an agnostic, but pending the appearances of radical evidence, I must be classed practically and provisionally as an atheist. Another one. Lovecraft was a prominent figure in the world of amateur journalism. In 1915, he started publishing his own journal called The Conservative, which included political and social commentary, poetry, short stories, and literary criticism written by him and other authors. Hunter was a skilled wordsmith, but he also took criticisms to heart, which resulted in the decision to step away from writing poetry and concentrate on weird fiction again, for the first time since his teenage years. Dagon, published in 1919, was one of the short stories written during that period. As an example, observed from The Conservative, the master of horror fiction explains his attitude towards warfare and the idea of a world peace. While any sane human being can believe in the possibility of universal peace is more than conservative can fathom, should the entire civilized world agree simultaneously to disarm, one or more nations would undoubtedly retain secret armaments at the proper time, take advantage of their more altruistic and less astute contemporaries in a wild career of conquest against unarmed victims. No country is or can ever be above warfare until the basic impulses of the human animal shall have miraculously changed. Maybe. Maybe, perhaps, but I'd rather still find ways to keep believing that there's some good in people again. 1921, Lovecraft released a series of 3 essays, The Defense Reopens, The Defense Remains Open, and Final Words, later published a collection titled In Defense of Dagon, in which he reviewed a series of criticisms directed at his work. Some notable quotes: I paint what I dream, and will let the public settle the rest amongst themselves. Mr. Monday asks the raison d'etre of Dagon, and I will give it, purely and simply to reproduce a mood. Its object is the simplest in all art, portrayal. Physical horrors of war, no matter how extreme and unprecedented, hardly have a bearing on the entirely different realm of supernatural terror. Ghosts are still ghosts. The mind cannot get more thrills from unrealities than from realities. In essays, Lovecraft touches upon the topics of atheism, materialism, and the quest for truth and the love of science. You know, I would like to point out again, the man was described as not having the constitution for math. How do you not have a constitution for math?
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
Dagon was the main deity the Philistines worshipped through the Middle East as the ancient god of fertility and crops. In Hebrew, the word Dagon was a common noun for grain. The rulers of Akkad, Mesopotamia, chose him as the patron saint of their war conquest. He also appeared as the judge of the dead in an Assyrian poem and an underworld prison water in one of the Babylonian texts. He's all mistakenly taken for a fish god due to the wrong interpretations of his name, as in Hebrew the word dag means fish. No, Jade, my PC is dying. Make a long story short, Jade, I got scammed on a PC that was built to break down. In H.P. Lovecraft's work, Dagon is an underwater deity ruling over the deep ones, humanoid race with fish traits that reside in the oceans. He is worshipped by a secret cult called the Esoteric Order of Dagon. Check and see if there's any more. Heh, titty statue. Any more hiding about? Or is that the only one here? Seems to be.
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries.
I'm sorry, Jade, I'm not gonna be able to use it till I get a new PC. August Derleth and the Cthulhu Mythos. August Derleth was an American writer and anthologist. He also befriended Lovecraft and published many of his works, though through his company Arkham House. Though he greatly contributed to the popularization of the author's works after his death, he is surrounded by numerous controversies. One of his most questionable decisions involved introducing the good versus evil doctrine. Derleth was a devout Catholic to the Cthulhu Mythos, which contrasted with Lovecraft's view on the world and his approach to cosmic horror. As a result, the author's works are often misunderstood and misrepresented in today's culture. It's also worth noting that Lovecraft was never really interested in creating a mythology, and the term Cthulhu Mythos was coined by Derleth after the author left the mortal plane. Maybe, but please do not feel obligated to do it, Jade. Oh, another one right here. Lovecraft's attempt to find a job in 1925 were influenced by advice he received from friends. Among others, he started freelancing for a marketing magazine where he would write announcements and commercials. Feel free to judge his copywriting skills for yourself. I would rather not. Alright, go on ahead and make it a reactive image then. Oh, there's another one. These days, the word scientist is a widely accepted term. By the time Dagon was published, it was subject to a wide debate. After the author used it in the story, critics pointed out that the man of science was a more appropriate term to employ. He admitted, in defense of Dagon, that if Dagon were to be reprinted, he would indeed use the phrase they suggested. Scientist was coined as an analog to artist to be used when referring to those studying different branches of science. Yet in the 19th and early 20th century, scientific researchers in Great Britain and the United States were of the opinion that man of science, resembling the term man of letters, was the only proper choice. Among other things, it was gender-specific, indicating that science was an endeavor to be pursued by only one sex. So that is some bullshit. The term scientist became more accepted only after World War II, and man of science started fading in obscurity as an old-fashioned synonym. So once again, bleh.
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing. I tried morphine, but the drug has given only transient surcease and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave. So now I am to end it all, having written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
Yeah, I know that's supposed to move it on, but I would like to try to act. Lovecraft hated tobacco, even though he used to smoke when he was 12 in order to look and feel like an adult. In his correspondence with friends Brian Hart Kleiner, he claims that he quit as soon as he started wearing long pants. He also had a very strong opinion about alcohol, as evidenced by his letter to Zelia Brown, dated 13th February 1928. As for the matter of drinking, I have never tasted intoxicating liquor and never intend to. Having a strong aesthetic disgust at anything which blunts or coarsens the delicate natural equipoise of the evolved human intellect and imagination. Drinking excited my personal repugnance, hence I don't drink. Let the herd do what they will, I am rather in favor of prohibition, the prohibition of any one antisocial force as well as of any other. Oh, another one. At another house where people were stirring, he asked questions about the gods and whether they danced often upon Lyrion. But the farmer and his wife would only make the elder sign and tell him the way to Nair and Othar. During Quest of Unknown Cadith, H.P. Lovecraft. Elder sign is a protective symbol that can be found in various works of pop culture, usually represented by a 5-pointed star with an eye flame symbol in the center. For example, a game inspired by H.P. Lovecraft's writings is supposed to ward away all kinds of cosmic horrors. However, this later version of the sign, created by the author's friend, writer August Derleth. In our game, we have used the original symbol as designed by Lovecraft in the form of a 6-pointed branch, which he sometimes included in letters to his friends. Hi, Sylvie!
Often, I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm. A mere freak of fever as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat after my escape from the German man-of-war. This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply. I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment be crawling and floundering on its slimy bed.
Same here, buddy.
Worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite. I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind. Of a day when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium.
You know what? The ocean can keep its horrors. Let them keep it. Hey, does one of you happen to have an elder sign on their back? No? Okay.
The end is near. I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it.
The sea hares are not worth it, Sylvie. They are not worth it.
It shall not find me.
I think it already has.
God, that hand! The window! The window!
Hold on, let me look for an elder sign. I gotta learn things. No elder sign? Wait. Aha! Sorry, buddy, I know you want to run for your- I know you want to, you know, quickly get out that window, but I want to learn things. Throughout his life, Lovecraft penned around 100,000 letters to his friends and fans, out of which about 10% survived to this day, but his tendency to endlessly correspondence was a relatively late growth. Lovecraft would often skip meals to afford postage. A collection of his correspondence have been published in various books and selected letters that can be found online. Some readers consider them as his most important legacy. Great! Out the window! But there you go. That was Dagon. There, I kept this from ending really, really short. He very much was. Granted, yes, we do have evidence that later on in life he did start improving as a person. However, it is often too little too late. I do, however, have to get this man credit for spawning one of my favorite genres of horror, cosmic horror.
And scary stories have been accompanying men for centuries. They have many faces and forms. But what is their purpose? Why do we enjoy being afraid so much? During our therapy, I'll try to
Okay, so I've still missed one of the early ones. But yeah, Lovecraft, all around, very terrible. Yeah. All around, Lovecraft was a very terrible person. He was. Do I hate that I had to give him credit for being one of the people who spawned one of my favorite, you know, things of cosmic horror? Yes, I do hate that I have to give him credit for that. Cosmic horror is my favorite genre of horror. I mean, hell, a fucking Minecraft ARG has thrown me back into my love for the fucking King in Yellow. Part of the goddamn Cthulhu mythos right there. And granted, yes, people have taken the Cthulhu mythos and have expanded upon it and have done their damnedest to fix a lot of the racist, sexist, queer, queer-hating, homophobic bullshit in there. Yeah. Cipher for Love looks like hell of a lot of fun. But happy Halloween, kobolds! We've gone through Homicipher, and we've gone through Dagon tonight. Now, I would like to fucking rest. I'm still hurting like hell. So for those of you who did tune in, I do hope you enjoyed. I will be back on Monday, November... I'll be back on Monday, November 3rd. I have no tricks or treats. I'm not going to go trick-or-treat. No, I'm not, and I'm not hurting for trick-or-treating. No, I'm hurting from trying to finish getting the house guest ready. But yeah, I will be back on Monday, November 3rd for the start of November. I do hope to see y'all there if you can make it. Gonna be, for the entire month of November, gonna be playing through all of Amber Isle, a cozy dinosaur and, well, prehistoric life-themed game. Do hope to see y'all there if you can make it. Schedule will be posted Sunday night. But as always, my name is Hats, and bye-bye.